Hmm. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. Hmm. Good afternoon. It's 2:30 the afternoon here in Yucca Valley. And it's a beautiful day. It's cooler now. It's winter is coming. Yeah, and I'm gonna have a little chat with my friend. Like this, we're gonna speak a little bit about what is going on right now. Hi, Ora.
Yes, Mina, so great to be with you.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yeah, how it is in Malibu.
I'm not in Malibu right now. I'm actually in Los Angeles, so I'm not at the
Yeah.
not at the beach today, but it's beautiful. I don't know if you can see outside. I'm backlit, so I don't think you can see it.
It seems to be with a lot of light like here. It's really, really nice. It's, I don't know, maybe you can see. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, the
It's a,
weather's beautiful.
it's a little bit cooler.
Yes, it
Yes.
must be a great time to be in the desert, right?
Yeah, we'll have a winter for the first time in 15 years. It's
That's fantastic.
my
That's
first real winter, you know. So it's a big change. It's and it's weird because since a couple of days we have some wind, and there is a lot of electricity in the air. It's very everything is natural material here. So I wonder, people who have synthetics like carpet and things, how they deal with that. Everything is natural, and if I brush my hair, I become like that, you know. And the skin is weird as well. It's like very tightening, like it's not even itching. It's we were with my neighbor friend yesterday shooting, and we were feeling that it's a change in the weather, and we feel it on the skin. We feel it, you know. It's really weird.
yeah.
So the desert life.
Yes, it is. It is. The weather is many things right now, as we know. Some of it very natural, and some of it maybe not so natural.
Yeah, a lot of things are coming to the surface, you know, after I was watching a little bit the news in France, you know, and I'm gonna post actually, I post often in my story a link with video on YouTube about news in France with people who are really, really knowledgeable about, you know, politics, economics, and it's very, very interesting. So I'm gonna post this later for the French people, the one who are speaking or understanding French, and maybe on that it's possible to put translation on YouTube, but from the one that is viewing, you know. For example, you go on YouTube and you can put translation in any language you want. So I don't know how to do this, but I think it can be interesting for American people also to go and try to translate, to see what some people are saying in France, because we have the feeling that we here nothing is really said in the mainstream media, but it's also the same thing in France. But now it starts to be exposed
Mm-hmm.
about everything, about all this situation, you know.
Yeah.
So these people are speaking about that. So it's quite interesting, because the mainstream media that were really like pushing the propaganda and all this nonsense, now they start to, you know, to go on the other side. I think they feel the wind is turning, and they are like trying to save their house, you know,
I agree.
because
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree, Yasmina, because you and I were talking about how we're seeing things coming to the surface, like Vanity Fair
Oh,
published an article about the leak in the Wuhan lab. And I'm thinking, okay, Vanity Fair, I know you and I were agreeing on this. Where were you 2 years ago?
Yeah,
You're a little late to the unveiling of the truth.
it's even worse. They were pushing in the other direction. Like all this was conspiracy and all this was like nonsense. And now they are suddenly, after 2 years of all this mess, of all these people who suffered the consequences of all this obligation and mandate and all that, now they're like, it's mind-blowing what is going on.
It's mind-blowing, and I find it very insulting and very offensive because, you know, especially you and I were just talking yesterday about this new article in The Atlantic by this woman, Emily Oster, I think is her name, and I'm glad to say her name because you know what? She already took herself off of Instagram. She already took herself off Instagram because the outrage that people had over this article, which is, you know, something about having amnesty over COVID, the great pardon. First of all, how the audacity to write an article like that, like, oh, let's just all, you know, make up and put a nice little pink bow on what happened over the last 2 years when people were vilified, they were couldn't see their nursing home relatives, they couldn't go to funerals, they couldn't go to births, they couldn't go to hospitals. You know, all the nurses that worked tirelessly to protect people in the hospital.
They could not work, they could not feed their family, they have been without, you know, work and income since many months. And it's really unbelievable, you know.
Isn't it unbelievable? Yasmin, that now we're going to watch and see people coming out on in their journalism, you know, holier than thou, and say, oh, it's time for amnesty and let's forgive. You know, where's the expression of being sorry? Where are they apologizing for how horrible they were to people?
No, there is no one word about that. No one.
No.
But you know, this is right now, because this, for me, I see it as a diversion from the election that are next Tuesday.
Exactly.
They have to feel, you know, all the mainstream about all these things, like these people are focused on that and they are like relaxed and they are like, you know, the retirement thing and that and that and that. Like this, it's like a diversion for the main thing that is what is going on next week.
Exactly. And I do think that part of that diversion and distraction is that if the people who are the perpetrators, because you can look up which side of the political fence these people were on, okay?
Yep.
They know. So if they now try to redeem themselves by, you know, pretending that everything's now okay, it makes them look less bad. And so ties up, well, where was this coming from? Where was the censoring coming from? Where was the vilification coming from? Where was the firing coming from? Cancel culture coming from? I think people can do their own homework and find out exactly where that was coming from and make their decision as to who they want to vote for in the future. Do you know?
Yeah, but you know, I was watching something very interesting. Something I said at the beginning of the confinement, people told me, huh, you are really crazy. I felt, nobody told me, I never read nowhere. I felt, because I'm a little bit aware about the technology and I can observe and connect the dots. So for me, I observed and I saw that was the city were very affected, you know, more in the cities than in the countryside because there is more population. And I said something in a video at the beginning, it was the beginning of the confinement. And I had messages telling me that I was totally crazy because what I said that it was sprayed in the air, in the atmosphere, all around the world. And for me, and I still see this like that, when you are on low frequency, it's activated, it's in the water, it's in the food, We know this since decades, you know. And
Right.
they found a way to put some engineering with the new technology to activate things, and also for people who are in low frequency because they are sick or because they are scared because of that, this activation is working more and they become sick with the C situation. And they don't understand that. It's what I try to say. It's very difficult because people don't see the relation. I had a big discussion some days ago with a dear friend who is in Italy. And she said, oh, I got the C thing again. I say, stop naming this. Stop naming this. Because every time this word is pronounced, every time it's feeding the energy of that thing and it making bigger and growing. It's a frequency. It works by resonance, by vibration.
That's right.
If people understand that the word they say, it's written in the Bible, and I'm not someone about religion and thing. It's just about that sentence is very, the verb at the beginning was the verb. The verb is creating. Words are creators of reality. So people has to understand and to be cautious and to observe themselves when they're going to say the C word, to don't say it, to put a cross on it, to don't feed the beast. We can say, even the French president said the beast, you know. So people has to really to be cautious about that, to use proper words for what they are. An injection is an injection, a vaccine is a vaccine. It's two things different. It may be the same way to do it, but they have to see that the word has been used to connect them on a frequency that is a lower frequency. But it's pushing things, the universe is pushing, and things are unveiled because it cannot, the truth has to come. So stop saying this keyword. This is going to change your own reality.
Absolutely.
And I explained this to my friend, and it took me more than an hour. And she said, wow. And I said, you know about this invisible world and how it works. So you did not, she said, no, I have not made the relation. And now what is proven, it's called optogenetic, that through the cathodic of the TVs, what I say since 40 years, it's for me, it's not new. Through the cathodics for the lamp that they put now, this lamp, you cannot have the old bulbs, you have to have the new ones and all that. There are information that are passing and they are controlling. So a lot of people are unable to think properly because they are controlled, and what they got in the body connected with these lights, bulb, and with the cathodic thing of TVs or even the computer and phone, control them totally without knowing it. But a lot of people say, it's weird, I cannot think properly. I'm like fuzzy in my head. I'm like, it's unactivated by what we know about the towers of the 5G. So it's all about this thing. And now it shows that it has been spread in the atmosphere.
Well, I mean, how long have we been living with seeing, you know, these, I'm not going to even use certain words because we're so shadow banned on platforms, you know, we are so censored and we're so policed on these. I mean, I'm even concerned about using the V word, and I think you know what that word is, because every word is feeding the algorithms, and then we get censored, and then we get gaslit. So we're not supposed to say what we really want to say. And
I am censored until end of November.
Yes, and the skies, only now am I able to really have a conversation with more people than ever before about all the activity in the sky. Like it's planes with zigzag smoke coming out, what's called chemtrails, which you used to, you know, use the word chemtrails, and people, those that didn't know but are finding out that it's true, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, which is used overused name. At this point, I think people sound rather unintelligent if they use the word conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
You know, that saying, there aren't any more conspiracy theories because they've all come true. Do you know? I mean, yes, there are going to be people that have theories that are way out there, but
yeah, like what I said 2 years ago, and now, you know, the optogenetic and all speaks about that, and people start to really understand that it has been sprayed in the hair. Something is, I said, if something is sprayed in the hair, it's an activator.
Right. And it's weather modification. Why don't we find out what weather modification and manipulation is being done? And what does that do to the atmosphere? All of this.
And what it does do to the soil. We had the thing in 2018 in Malibu, these fires that were so strong that even the fireman cannot stop them because of the aluminum that is sprayed from the air and goes on the soil and increase heat and speed. It's unbelievable.
You know, Yasmina, I know there are people listening today, and you have a lot of people that tune into you. And, you know, there are people that don't want to hear this. There are people that don't want to hear this because it's too serious for them, or it's too depressing. And you know what I think about that is that people really need to wake up, because if they don't wake up, the world is going to change so drastically. And then they're going to say, what happened? How did it happen? Do you know? And all the manipulation you talk about, you know, these girls that just, you know, threw paint on a Van Gogh. They're throwing tomato soup on art because they're climate activists, but they're being misled. They don't really know who the puppet masters are behind the climate change. I'm not saying that climate isn't changing. It's inevitable that climate will change, but why don't we connect the dots and say they're manipulating the weather, and who knows what those chemicals are that are being distributed throughout the atmosphere. I mean, people need to connect the dots and wake up. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Do you know?
But you know, it's what is worse than that. It's a deny. It's to say this is not true, because by that they are accomplice to the thing. Because they give their energy to this, saying that it's not true, they keep this alive. And this, in a way, they are accomplice of what is going on. And you have a lot of people who are already surprised. What is going on in this world? My goodness, I don't understand. What are we living? Yeah, sure. You did not wake up many years ago when they started with the World Economic Forum in 2012 to put their agenda. We never read about that. It's time to maybe get informed. Go and check. Oh, it's not funny. And 450 pages to read. It's really a bummer, but it's written right there.
You know,
it's not you. And after they're going to tag you extreme right because you speak about freedom.
This labeling, which is so small-minded, that, you know, if you think this way, you must be a conservative. If you think this way, you must be a Trumper. If you think this way, you be woke. You know, can we stop this name calling, this immature labeling of who we are? Why don't we just talk wisdom and not even look at political context? Why don't we just speak the truth? If I didn't know what political party you were in favor of, and you didn't know what political party I was in favor of, and we had a conversation and we spoke the truth, all that would matter was the truth that was coming out of our mouths. That's all that would matter.
Yeah, and just observation about, we observe something, we connect since many years, because the good thing by being old as well, we lived many decades and we saw an evolution. If we were a little bit already aware, curious, getting information, wondering why this and that, we grew our, you know, library, if I can say, and now that we are older, and we connect like that, we are connected automatically by same kind of references, because we went through experiences similar during these decades, and we observed things, and this is part of us. And when we connect, we resonate without even knowing, just because we resonate, we are on the same frequency because of the experience we had. This is one of the beauty of aging. And it's wonderful. I had a very nice exchange recently with a young man. I can say young, he's more than 50. And about what he was saying, I'm happy to be older. I'm really happy to be older because I can really be more at peace and see things. And it's because I age. And this is, you know, to demystify, I posted about what he's doing about sexuality and tantrism and all that. And I really love his way to present that. People has to know about that. Young people has to know about that. Because they are misled in all these things that is going on online with pornography and all that, and all these supposedly people who are going to teach you Tantra, and they bring you in terrible things. And Faris is doing something great. So I post his post because I think it's important to spread when there are true information, right information, to make people more at peace. No stress about performances and about all these, you know, like tantrism thing that you have to learn special things about sex, and stop that. It's more simple than that.
You know, there are so many things going on right now. I feel like everything is being exposed. Everything. It's right there if you want to see it. It's right there. And the people that are exposing those things for what they are, they're showing you exactly what they are. And we have a choice to either participate and partake in what is being offered to us, or we can say, no, I have no desire to go down that dark path. We all have a choice. This is a time right now where everything is right there on the surface, and we have to decide what it is we want to see and what we don't want to see, what we resonate to, what we believe in, what we know is true, what we know is a lie. And there are people that really have been onto this for the last 2 years. And there are people, I understand, people that are just coming onto it now. And there are people that are in complete denial.
Yeah, but you know, the good thing, Ora, all this is perfect order, perfect timing. It's all what is necessary for this big awakening. What is good is that just by being conscious about it, automatically you have nothing to do. And I say this for people who are watching, individuals who are watching. We did a session, very nice session in French Sunday with Nathalie Théo. The good thing is like the experiment of the 100 monkey. Only one person start to open, and this is going to spread. It's spreading around the world. People become more and more open. It's for that. It's important for us just to manifest, to witness our truth. And it makes echo and raised by resonance in others. And more people are going to be able to be firm on their rightness, on what is their truth, on what is, and stay connected to that. Because some people are a little bit shy. They, you know, they don't want to sometimes to hurt people in their family by affirming what they see, what they think, what they feel, you know, and I can understand that. Me, I always been treated to be the, we said in French, illuminate service. That means the one that is like, you know, the fuse blow up. You know what I mean? She's like totally fucked up because with my idea.
Yeah.
I don't care. I have the same, I see the thing deeper now, but I am the same. I don't deny what I said 40 years ago about this phenomenon. I was seeing already what was going on. And people were telling me I was crazy, you know? So now I feel great. I am at the right time. It's perfect.
People throughout history were called crazy because of what they saw, you know, and other people were not ready to see what they saw. They told them they were crazy. They told them that what they saw wasn't true.
Yeah.
Do you know, on since the beginning of time, whether it's, you know, all the philosophers and the inventors and the explorers. I mean, we could name a myriad of people that had visions and went out and proved to people that their visions were accurate, but some of them were killed because of it. Some of them were burned at the stake. Some of them were thought heretics because people didn't want to see the truth. You know, in my new book, Yasmina, which is coming out November 22nd, called Time to Awaken, I say there are people, some people that exist to exist. That's what they think they're doing here. I'm existing just to exist. And all I care about is my survival. And then there are people, you say that, you know, you've been looking at these things for as long as you can remember. There are people on this earth that want to know more. They want to know, why are we here? What are we doing here? Who's in control? What are we believing? What is illusion? What is real? You know, there are people that want answers, and there are people that just exist to exist.
But, you know, the beauty of that, of this, I always say it's antagonic forces. The beauty of that is that as human as we are, we have a challenge and we want to overcome it. So now we are facing, we know things, we know intuitively, it's part of us because we have all the history of humanity inside of us. We have it, all of us. There is not a human who cannot have access to that. But for that, you have to be really with yourself. You have to love yourself, because if you are negative with yourself, it's not working, because you don't let the flow with your essence, you know. So the good thing is that it's like a challenge. It's not to convert people or to make them seem like us. It's just that the fact they are like that, it obliges us to find more ways, different ways to tell our truth with different words. We are in a time we have to create different words, because the one we use up to now, they are part of the old system.
You're right.
And now we go to a new system, so there are new words to be created.
Right.
And
yes.
The good thing is that we can be thankful to these people to be in denial or to be like that, because they oblige us by way of consequences
Right.
to other ways to
Right.
try to express differently our vision, our perception of the world, of life. So I'm very grateful to these people who are rejecting it, because it's because they're rejecting me since all these decades that I am like I am today.
Right. Yeah.
And I feel empowered.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I feel secure everywhere I go.
Yes.
And I feel in my, you know, sovereignty.
Yes. Yes.
No.
They're denying, they're resisting, they're pushing. Their way in which they are trying to oppose things that we may see and we know deep in our heart and soul is real. We don't have to convince them, Yasmina. I agree. I feel that everybody at their own time, at their own pace, will come to see what they want to see and what they want to know.
Yeah.
I think it's our job more. I think in the beginning, when things were happening and everything was very frenetic, we wanted other people to see what we saw, because we were trying to help them out of compassion, out of genuine passion. That's why I wanted to reach the people that I wanted to reach, because I wanted to help, do you know? But I realize now we're all on our life journey. We're all evolving in the way in which we're evolving. And
you know, what comes to me is to what point we are under the complex of Mother Teresa. You know, this complex that someone wants absolutely to help others. And we have all of us this part, you know, for any reason. when I was younger, it was to be loved because I never felt the love of my parents. So I thought if I take care of that or this or that one or that, and I bring good and like that, I'm going to be loved and I'm going to be recognized. Now I don't care. It's for that. More you age, more you don't care about that because you resolve your own thing. You solve your own, patterns. And after you do it because I think we do it because we feel the divine that pushes inside. This is what we do. It's the divine that pushes inside each of us to have a better manifestation of itself in the material world. It's complex to grasp that, but I feel it so strong sometimes. I felt it very strong at the beginning of my investigation in all this thing when I was 30, 35, to the point that I was thinking I'm going to become crazy. And I said, stop, Godfather. I'm not at your service here anymore. Because I felt that it was like a non-stop circle of I search for something, I discover something, this pushed me to go deeper, and it was like a circle, workshops and books and things, and I was like, to a point I said no, I felt it was like this thing was pushing through me to be able to exist in this world. It's really weird, and I think all humans, we are living that, but we are not aware of that. The experiences we live in our bodies, accidents, sickness, and all that, it's all come from the invisible. It's all something, this fantastic, supreme intelligence that is coming through, that we are made from, and pushes, and when there is a block, for any reason, transgenerational, something we don't want to see, there is a block in the body, in a part of the body, and we develop something and to alert us, to make us putting our attention, to stop, to listen, to observe, to be with ourselves. And like by magic, something is unlocking. When you are really going very down and when it's very hard. And it's for that. We had this 2 years of, and it's not finished. I say this in the beginning, it's going to be narrower and narrower,
In many ways, it's continuously starting again because there's always there's a new wave and there's a new revelation and there's a new truth that's being revealed. It's every day something else is coming to the foreground every day. And we don't know.
Down, pushing each of us, like.
We don't know where this is taking us. We don't really know. We will know with time where this is taking us. It's fascinating. In ways, it's fascinating because there is so much changes happening so exponentially, so quickly. It's happening at such a rapid pace that it's almost like you really do have to stay awake. It's like a movie. If you fall asleep, you're going to miss a big part of the movie.
Yeah, it's true. I was 2 days without, going, because I lost my main page on Facebook. I lost it with my web manager. We recovered it. She's been in touch by chat with Facebook. Finally, it was there, and now it's gone again. But 2 days ago, it has been big trouble on Instagram and Facebook. People lost their account. People lost thousands of followers. All that. It was a big thing. So I'm not worried. I think we're going to get it back. But it's really a time of big changes and cleaning everywhere, I see. And I was like thinking, it's very interesting because this happened when Musk took place on Twitter. So I was thinking how the AI, the artificial intelligence with the internet is working, because maybe it's connected to him cleaning, making what he's doing with Twitter. I don't know if it's good or not. I don't even want to know about that. But like by chance, I noticed that this happened in Twitter, and now there are troubles on Instagram and Facebook.
Well, I also heard that Facebook Meta now, not even Facebook anymore, it's called Meta, but
they don't call Meta because Meta means deaf,
Yeah,
so I call it still Facebook.
the death of Meta, because I heard that the stock has dropped so precipitously. It's doing terribly. The whole metaverse, you know, the metaverse just completely tanked. It did not take off. I mean, his fantasy, Zuckerberg's fantasy of some virtual reality, because this reality isn't good enough, let's create a virtual reality. Well, people didn't really get what, they didn't get on it. They didn't.
Yeah, but
they didn't.
look, Ora, again, look that. Why calling this meta? For me, at a level, all this is very well organized. Meta means death. So
Yeah.
if you want to be prosper, you don't call your company Meta, but means death. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah,
but
I do.
Whole system.
That's why, Yasmina, we just, you know, I said early on to a friend of mine, just sit back, get out your popcorn and watch this play out like a movie. Watch it play out. You know, these people, these transhumanists, you and I talked about that, these people who have these fantasies of how they think we should be living our lives.
Yeah.
Direct our future. See what happens. You know, it could be the death of Meta, the death of death for Meta. Do you know? Let's see what happens, Yasmina, because you know what? Give those people enough room and let's see what they do with it. Do you know? Let's see what they do with it.
And it's really interesting to observe. Look at the Brazilian election. You know, when you see that this guy now is friend with Klaus Schwab. You know, so it's.
Well, then they say that, you know, I hate to sort of chime into things, sound bites that I hear politically, because I don't know Rishi, whatever the new Prime Minister of England is. You know, now there's a lot of speculations about these new appointed leaders, like who's part of the World Economic Forum, who's in alignment with the agendas, who's in alignment with the New World Order. Do you know, I mean, we need to do our research in these areas. I like to talk about these things today because more and more people are like, oh yeah, the New World Order. Yes, I'm curious about that. Oh, Klaus Schwab. Yes, I've heard about this. Well, you know what? Make it your business to learn more. Because these are the global elites that seem to be running the show right now. Do you know? If we give in, when we hear things like, oh, you'll own nothing, you'll, you know, eat crickets and meat will be obsolete by 2030 and everybody will drive an electric car, we can't even have our air conditioners on when there's a heat wave. How do they expect everybody? Look, I'm all for you know, controlling our carbon footprint mindfully, but I'd like to know who's behind these sustainable goals. You know, Yasmina, they're using a lot of verbiage which is very manipulative.
But
okay? All of it pretending that it's about climate change and pretending that it's sustainable development goals. I'd like to know what they mean by that. What exactly do they mean by that? That by 2030, you know, Bill Gates' prediction, by 2030, who is Bill Gates to be in our business? Who is Bill Gates to tell us what to put in our bodies? Who is Bill Gates to buy up all this farmland? Who is Bill Gates to go into Africa and inject all these innocent people and leave them? Who is this man, this software creator who suddenly has power over all these areas of human existence?
Yeah.
Are you?
And you know, it's really like, I think it's really for that it be so big that most of the people cannot miss it. You know, it has to be that, you know.
Set it for what it is. It is so big and so blatant and so in our faces right now. You, as you said the other day, you'd have to be living under a rock not to see it.
Yeah, but and there are so many things coming. I was a little bit away of social for like a couple of days. I come back and I see that, and I watch the video on my YouTube channels in France, and I say, wow, in 2 days, so many things did happen. You know, like the president who elected herself, nobody elected her. van der Leyen, you know, at the European Parliament that going to be in trial. Like so many things are like coming, you know, coming to the surface. Some people who are now, there is the Marco Polo. I think it's it's Marco Polo. The files that are going out about all the US presidency and all that. There is a big file now coming that is...
I'm so busy, Yasmina, watching the Fauci movie, part 1 and part 2, which I think people should run.
There is a part 2? I didn't know that there is a part 2.
If you haven't read Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s book, please watch the documentary. Jeff Hayes directed this documentary, and a lot of people are posting it on Instagram. They have links for you to watch it. You know, please, I've been so immersed in watching that because it'll just blow your mind.
Yeah.
You know, watch part 1 and part 2 for free. I think for two more days. You can watch.
I didn't know it was, I saw the part 1. I didn't know it was a part 2.
If you go to that page that you were on for part 1 and you scroll down, you'll see part 2.
Okay, I'm gonna check.
Yeah,
I think it's important because it goes also with you know, the information that we know now, that this thing was not stopping the spread, and this was the main thing, you know, to stop the spread. So everybody has been misled, everybody has been fooled. So
how can they not be outraged? How can people be furious that they have been lied to? They have been lied to. How can they?
Look again, look the timing. It's coming now before our elections. Our elections are determinant in the world. So it's perfect timing to bring that again. You know, it's like amazing how it's done. Because
you're right. It's very systematic. It's very, very systematic. You know, I agree with you, Yasmina. There's all this deliberate timing to everything. And it's very orchestrated, just like they say that the pandemic, there was a simulation pandemic between the Gates Foundation and Johns Hopkins, that they literally created a simulated pandemic before the actual pandemic happened. How could they have had a simulated pandemic before the actual pandemic?
Yeah, but you know, the worst thing is that it has been patents on this injection, patents on this supposedly V thing. And the problem is that when you have something, when there is a patent and you use something with the patent, or you get this in your body, you are owned by the patent company.
Right. Yes, it's pretty serious business. I'm sorry for anybody who, you know, thought they were
that they push more and more.
Yeah, I know a lot of people thought they were doing the right thing. I understand that, and I'm not judging those that genuinely thought they were doing.
It's awful.
You know, but who I do take offense with is anybody who judged others harshly and vilified them and called them names and segregated them and polarized them and said terrible things about people who believed in bodily autonomy. How interesting that it's very politically correct to say, you know, right to choose when it comes to abortion. You can't say right to choose when it comes to what you're being told to put inside your body. No,
the treatment you want to take for yourself, just a treatment, you know, what you want to take or not. And this is, it's really weird how the propaganda is being made around that.
Yes, a lot of
people who are healthy like I am, who don't take drugs like I do since so long, but we are the bad ones and we are the danger for the society. I always said, you know, I take care of myself to don't be a weight for the society.
But Yasmina,
because it's that.
When did natural immunity become a bad thing? When did natural immunity become something that you should doubt?
Yeah.
When did body's miraculous abilities that it has, when were we told that we shouldn't trust our own immune system? It's outrageous, the propaganda around that. We are constantly being bombarded with pharmaceuticals. That what is the message? That we're just not okay. You're not okay. You need to be medicated.
It's even worse. It's that we are in permanent danger. You know, it's like, it's for that. It's to bring the fear, to bring this low vibration of fear.
Yes. Yes.
And when people are like that, they are less resistant. They are more under stress, so they can heal less easily. So they can develop disease, you know, that are blockage because of the fear. You become like that, you know, inside. It's like, and it's all that. And like that, they're gonna go and buy the remedy that's gonna help them to feel better. You know,
Right.
it's all about business.
We were told to be afraid. We were brainwashed 24/7. We were on high alert 24/7 to be afraid. Do you know that fear is elective? Yes, there's genuine fear when our lives are in danger, if an animal is going to come jump on us like a saber-toothed tiger. Back in the day when we were hunters and gatherers, we were told to be afraid. Maybe we could have stopped and said, should I be afraid? Am I afraid right now because I'm being told to be afraid? Or what does my gut tell me? What does my instincts tell me? My instincts tells me that someone else is telling me that I should be afraid over something that is a story that was told to us, that this virus came from a bat. Now, if you watch the Kennedy documentary, you're going to know that that is the biggest lie that ever. But
have you seen, like, it's for that when I went back, I saw a couple of days ago this lab in UK that developed a new lethal one.
Yeah, because look what they've done.
And how it's possible? They have nothing else to do than this.
They created a monster. That's why gain of function, and that's why, you know who, the little man that everybody thought was a saint, the one person that everybody listened to for 2 years, like he was some kind of, like he was Jesus. He was telling them what to do with their health. You know who that is.
Yeah.
Mr. F, okay? Yeah. And how about looking into the probe that they're doing right now about his gain of function? What was going on in the Wuhan lab? So now you're going to have other people copying that. They're going to have.
No, Ora, I just saw someone commenting about the movie, and I when I saw the movie, and I saw what has been done like 40 years ago by him.
Yes.
I was wondering how it's possible that this man been in charge of that. After what he did, it's exposed. It's there. How this is possible?
It's evil. It's evil. I don't have any other word for it, Yasmina. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's evil. And for anybody who's watching this that doesn't really know why we're talking this,
it's awful. When I was not thinking to see that at the end of the movie. The children and all, I was like, I was really.
It's shocking.
It's shocking. Really.
And Fauci was at the head of the whole AIDS epidemic. He goes way back to the AIDS epidemic, and now he's been telling people what to do with the whatever you want.
It's really amazing. Why he was not in jail then?
Well, that's a very good question. Meanwhile, he's made millions and millions of dollars of people who were not being given the therapeutics that they deserve. He absolutely was against ivermectin. He was against hydroxychloroquine, but he was in favor of remdesivir, which is known to cause liver malfunction.
And cost a fortune. Yeah.
People, please see this movie. I'm going to look into the camera. Please watch Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s the film, the documentary version of The Real Anthony Fauci. Please get educated, please. I really want you to know what everybody deserves to know. And you know what it's called? The truth. We all deserve to know the truth.
You know, it broke my heart when I saw the end of the movie, of the part one. When I saw that, I was crying.
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you.
I didn't know. I knew about the SZT because I knew more than 20 years ago someone was in the pharmaceutical selling that and telling like happy. But it was great. But they found a remedy that can make them stable, but obliged to take them all the time, but not curing them. I was shocked. I learned that a Christmas evening by the map of this person. I was like, what I'm hearing there? It was in 1998 or 99.
You know, Yasmina, it wasn't until I read Mickey Willis's book, Plandemic. I highly recommend it, really. This was a man who was very liberal and was a filmmaker in Hollywood. His brother was gay, and he saw his brother deteriorate, not from AIDS, but from the drug, the AZT drug.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you got to read these. You got to really, people have got to get the information. They have to really, please don't be lazy. Please research, do your work. You know, listen, you and I have talked about how this has not been easy for us for the last 2 years. I would have rather not have to see a lot of these terrible things. These were really very hard things to see. You just said you cried at the end of The Real Anthony Fauci. It's heartbreaking to see this truth.
Yeah. And I cried by what I saw, but I cried also by the how it's possible that many decades after this man is still in charge. How people let this happen?
Well, he coincidentally has stepped down, okay? He has stepped down from his position. He's made millions of dollars, and many people got sick and died, okay? This is crimes against humanity. This is what this is. This is crimes against humanity. I know we're on Instagram. I know Instagram, you're going to put your little notification at the end of this film when it's over, this video. Oh, anything you say that goes against the narrative, they immediately pop up that little disclaimer. Okay. Yeah. So manipulative. It's all about censorship. That's what it is for now, but the tides are turning, especially since Elon Musk took over Twitter. For now, that's what it seems to be, that the censorship has been lifted with that platform. Let's see what, do you know? Yeah. Let's see what happens. You can't shut people up. You can't shut up freedom of speech. You can't do that. People have a right to have their own opinions. And they're trying dramatically to silence all of us. It's criminal. How can these people sleep at night? It's horrible.
I see someone asking for the name of the movie. You know, it's very simple.
I will tell them, please go to childrenshealthdefense.org. The movie is called The Real Anthony Fauci. I can't encourage you enough to watch this. Please watch it. There's part 1 and there's part 2. People are watching it all over the world. They're not going to be able to keep it from people. The truth is coming out. There's no way to suppress the truth. They'll do everything they can to censor and to, what you said earlier, Yasmina, they'll do everything to distract. They'll do everything they can to censor. But truth is too powerful, and it will rise to the surface. It will.
Yeah. So, Ora, we're going to have to close because it's for 1 hour, and after it's cut like that, I had that recently. Yeah, so, you know, we have to continue.
We right down to the meat of the conversation. We go right to the meat. And for those that wanted Yasmina and I to take you into a beautiful world, we can do that on another Instagram Live.
Yes. I think we have a lot of clouds, and this morning I thought it was going to snow. It was really like the feeling when there is snow on the mountain there on Joshua Tree. And no, it's did not. But it was like this light, you know. It's really, I'm curious to know how it's going to be. Tomorrow it's going to be very cold.
Oh,
Oh, it's
nice.
going to be 40 the morning, and like 50s evening, you know.
It
So,
looks beautiful when you do your outdoor videos. It's so
but
beautiful.
I'm going to make another tour of the house because now I have the winter coat of the house. Look, I bought carpet.
Oh, so cozy.
Yeah. So I have carpets everywhere, you know, like that.
Beautiful.
Because it's stone, it's going to be cold on the floor. So I put carpets everywhere. Double one, jute and wool, you like that. Okay.
You gave us the summer tour. Now we need the winter tour.
Yes. And I think I'm going to do, if I'm not censored, a small live presentation for the shawls of winter, because it's a long time I've not done a presentation of all the winter shawls, you know, like the yak and all that, the imitation cocoon, but the one like you have, all that. It's time to show them again and to wear them. So I'm going to take them out of our box, and I'm going to do a video about that.
Please do it. Mwah. Can't wait.
Bye.
Right. Bye.
Bye-bye.